opening the ambassador application on July 1st. So if any of you here are not ambassadors and you would like to become one or interested in learning about the program, feel free to email me. I'll put my email in the chat. But yeah, July 1st.
Fantastic. Thanks, Maddie. So yeah, I think we can get started now. Just to do a quick intro, we're really excited to have you all here today. This is our first professional development workshop of our series. We'll be running one every month. We've got a huge range of things coming up, everything from grant writing to ocean branding. We essentially wanted to create a series where we could cover different niches for young, early career professionals, or even people that are later on in their career in marine science, that wanted to learn more things that aren't necessarily covered in academic institutions or at university. So without further ado, I'm going to hand over to Morgane, who is a fantastic brander, web designer, and she's been really, really influential in helping not just me, but many others in the ocean conservation spheres in harnessing the power of branding to create change for the ocean. So I really hope you enjoy this session today. We'd love all your feedback afterwards, and I hope that you really use this opportunity at the end to ask Morgane lots and lots of questions. So yeah, thanks for being here, everyone, and I'll hand over now.
Thank you so much for this super cool introduction. That's going to be great. I'm super excited. I'm just admitting the last people to the waiting room. I don't think anyone else but me can do it. So I'm just making sure that we are not leaving anyone behind, and then I will start. I think we've got everyone now. So let me share my screen. Oops, okay. Share screen, desktop, and normally you should be seeing, woo. All right, let's do this. Okay, let me see if I can access the chat. Yep. Can you please let me know in the chat if you see my screen? I just want to make sure that
yep, looks good.
Okay, well, yeah, perfect. With the mic, even better. Okay. All right. So hi, everyone. My name is Morgane, and I'm so excited to be here to talk for the first professional development session of Women in Ocean Science, the first of many. And I'm excited to hopefully be helping a lot of marine science students and ambassadors and professionals, because that's really something that's dear to my heart. I'm also very happy to have been asked to talk about branding, because over the past couple years, that's really a topic that have become one of my favorite topics. And so I hope that I'll be able today to transmit some of that passion to you, because I believe that branding can positively contribute to the amazing work that you guys are doing for the marine ecosystems. So today we're going to talk about how branding, when harnessed as a powerful tool, can empower marine scientists to ignite change for the ocean. Okay, and I'm going to, admit Shri Vishnu to the call. All right, so let me say a few words about me first so that you have a better idea of who I am and why I'm talking to you today. As I said, my name is Morgane. I design and develop websites as the web developer. I recently launched my business. It was a year and a half ago. I actually started my career as a marketing manager and social media manager, but I pivoted because I felt like I needed a little bit more freedom, and I wanted to work with inspiring people and help bring to life inspiring projects. And so I took a web development bootcamp. I learned how to code, and now I'm creating websites. So that's been cool. I thought that I would share with you a little story, the story of how I was introduced to the underwater world, because growing up, I was not a water girl at all. I was super scared actually of the water. I was going in it, but not very confident about it. And back in 2020, at the beginning of 2020, I actually got an internship in Bali, Indonesia, with a diving liveaboard. And one of the first things that we did was a team building, let's say, trip on the liveaboard. So we went on a cruise to the Komodo National Park, which is amazing, but I had to learn how to dive if I wanted to be able to see the underwater world of Komodo. Okay, for new people who've just entered, yeah, I think it's better because when you don't turn your mic off, I can hear myself echoing. Now it's great. So as I said, I had to learn how to dive, and I went to a little diving retreat for 2 or 3 days in Bali. The first time was terrible. I couldn't equalize. I couldn't even go down in the water. But the second time was better. My first dive was on a wreck in the north of Bali, and it was really amazing. Like as soon as I went underwater and saw the marine world and marine life, I was completely won over. And since then, I've been really interested about everything that's going on underwater, basically, and how we can help protect those wonderful environments. And so what's most important to me right now is to work with people and work with brands that have, still admitting people to the room. It's to work with people and businesses that positively impact the world, and so have social and environmental missions. And by launching my own business and helping people craft brands and create websites, I've been able to do just that, and I'm really grateful for that, actually. So let's start with the basics and let's talk about what branding is, because I think it's really important for today's session that I give you a little definition first. I didn't reinvent the wheel. I took this definition from the internet because I think it's a really good one that really encompasses all that branding is. So the definition is: branding is the process of creating a strong, positive perception of a company, its products or services in the consumer's mind by combining such elements as mission statement, story, logo, design, and a consistent theme throughout all marketing communications. So what you can already get from that definition is that branding is not all about the visual aspect of things. Actually, visuals come pretty far down the building a brand road. And what's really important to identify first is who you are before you communicate on it. So the two main goals of branding basically are differentiating a company from its competitors and building a loyal customer base. Now, what we want to talk about today, and what's even more interesting to me than branding, is personal brandings. And I don't know if you've heard about the term personal branding. It's actually quite recent. It's been introduced in 1997. Because up until recently, people thought that visual identities and branding was exclusively for the world of big companies and the business world. But in recent generations, we've begun to learn that almost everything can have a personal brand. So you've got, of course, celebrities. You have, admitting people still. You've got celebrities that have personal brands. We've seen it with influencer marketing nowadays. Political parties have personal brands. And I would even dare to say that your dog or your cat could have a personal brand on Instagram and grow a community. So that's actually really interesting, because just as big companies, we are all able to build our brand based on a set of values and on a set of attributes, so that people can basically identify us and relate with us on a professional and on a personal way. So as I said, the term personal branding was introduced in 1997 by Tom Peters. And Tom Peters actually believed that no matter what industry we work in, no matter where we live or who we are all the own CEOs of our personal brands. And we are responsible for marketing ourselves just as vigorously as we would market a product or a service. And I think that in this increasingly interconnected world that we live in with social media and the internet, we've all become a lot more aware of other people's personal brands, whether they are our friends or whether they are people that we've been following forever online. And I think that you can already think of a few examples, a few people that you really that really inspire you or that you can relate to online that have built personal brands. Now, it's also important that we read through the definition of personal branding. I think it will help you better comprehend what we're going to talk about during this webinar. So personal branding is the conscious and intentional effort to create and influence public perception of an individual by positioning them as an authority in their industry and elevating their credibility to ultimately advance their career, increase their circle of influence, and have a larger impact. And these last 4 words are the most important. I think that you can already see how this can apply to you and your work and how this can help you ignite change on a larger scale. And I want to say that the word branding can actually have a bit of a negative connotation when used in the context of business. And I think that part of my mission today is to tell you that it is actually not negative at all, because effective personal branding, it's not about putting on a show or being fake and wanting to sell things to people. It's really not about that. It's just about putting yourself out there and communicating your values and trying to share your message in a convincing way. So if you use the correct principles and strategies, you can help a personal brand that will benefit you and your work and the things that you want to fight for. Now, what got me most excited about the concept of personal branding when I first heard about it was the fact that when you're positioning yourself as a brand, you get to be whoever you want and you get to embrace all the parts of yourself. Because as I've written here, your intersections are what make you unique, and so you should embrace them. So whether you are the marine scientist that is famous for her 7 dogs, or a wildlife filmmaker that also loves acro yoga, or I'd say even an ocean ambassador who's also known for being a plant-based foodie and who's also sharing recipes, like, it's great. You shouldn't limit yourself. You should embrace all of your passions and all of your interests, because your intersections are what are gonna make you connect with other people. And so I think you can aggregate people around that and around you and around your energy. And what's really important for me to say before we move on to why and how you can build a personal brand is that when you have different interests and passions that you're communicating about, you will have different entry points for people to join your community. For example, talking about that ocean ambassador who's also a plant-based foodie, maybe someone's gonna follow them and interact with them because they love their vegan recipes. And then when they see on their profile that they're also talking about marine conservation and all of the initiatives and actions that they have put in place, they're going to be interested in that as well. And so it's interesting to have people come from different backgrounds and to join a community for different reasons. But all of those people, at the end of the day, you can share your marine science with and influence. Okay, so Here we go. I went too far. Okay. How can building a personal brand help you and your work? I think you got the message. Basically, when you use it well, personal branding can help you captivate audiences and realize support and mobilize individuals and organizations for the preservation of our oceans. And I want to share a few statistics, 3 actually, with you that confirm the power of a well-built brand before we move on to how practically you can build your personal brand. Okay, the first one, 92% of people trust recommendations from individuals, even if they don't know them, rather than brands, no matter the brand popularity. So this really speaks to the fact that people, at the end of the day, will trust people. And so when you position yourself not as a company, but as a person, as a personal brand, you get to be very real and very authentic, and people love that. And I think that's the best way to engage with either other marine scientists or with people in general. This next one, I find it very, very funny, but it's actually relevant and fitting. 60% of our conversations are made up of personal stories and gossip. And this speaks to the fact that sharing a story about yourself is the best way that you can pique someone's interest and make them interested in what you have to say. And personal branding is all about storytelling. We're going to see that later. And this last one, 50% of brand first impressions are visual. This I want you to keep in mind, because even though I said at the beginning that the visual aspect of your brand is not the most important thing, it still counts for a lot, and it's important that you get it right. Now, on this next slide, you can see probably a few faces that you know. I think most of them you know. These marine scientists and marine biologists and wildlife filmmakers are kind of famous, and they've built personal brands, and that's the reason why you know of them. And even though, well, they probably share some of the same values, but they have very different personalities and messages and very different way of communicating about the ocean. But nevertheless, they've all built a personal brand, and I think they all learned how to leverage branding and social media to drive change for the ocean. So I want you to remember their faces, because later on we're going to have a little case study so that I can show you how practically it's done. Now, the question you've been asking yourself, I'm sure, how do you do it? I'm going to give you a step-by-step guide on how you can craft and grow a personal brand that will help build your credibility and amplify your work. It's actually a 4-step process. I've listed them here. So you've got strategy and purpose first, storytelling, visual identity, and community. And I've designed this presentation to be kind of a blueprint. So this is a good exercise that you can go through if you want to get more clarity about, well, who you are and what your personal brand can look like. So I would suggest that you set maybe a day or a weekend. You just sit someplace that you feel comfortable in and that inspires you, and reflect on these 4 steps that I'm going to go through with you now. And I think after that, you'll be able to create your personal brand. Now, the first step, strategy and purpose. As I said, the most important thing is to get clear on your vision first. Building your brand starts with self-assessment. And that's what's really interesting about personal branding, is that you don't have to reflect on who you're going to be talking to. You know, when a company wants to sell a product, they think, okay, we have that product with that characteristics and we want to market it to this specific audience. So how are we going to talk to this audience, and what do they want to hear? What are they going to like? Here, it's not about that. It's about you. Actually, you are the niche. That's the reason why I put that here. And you are the reason why people are going to follow you. So all you got to reflect on is yourself. That might be a bit overwhelming at first, but I've put here a couple of pillars that you can reflect on with a few questions that you can go through so that you have a better idea of what your vision is and what your mission is going to be. The first pillar is your purpose. So what's your vision for the world? What do you aim to accomplish? How do you aim to accomplish it? So this touches to your mission. And then your values. What are 3 to 4 core values that define you? If you only have to give 3 or 4 values, what would they be? What do you base most of your relationships and most of your decisions on? Then your strengths are also very important, because we don't all have the same strengths. So reflect on what you're good at, what you're passionate and knowledgeable about, because these will be your starting points. Your character, what are your personal traits? How would your friend and family define you? And who inspires you? Yips, okay. Who inspires you is the last point. Inspirations. I think it's really important to look around and to try and look at the people who you most resonate with and who inspire you, because in the world of personal brands, I don't think there are any competitors, because you are unique and you are the niche, as I said. So you can just learn from others and see what you like and what works. Now, for this first step, after answering those questions, you should have a better idea of what your purpose is, what your values are, and what is going to be the foundation of your brand. And after that, you can move on to the next step, which is storytelling. And storytelling basically is the art of communicating in an impactful way. I think storytelling is super powerful because it will help people connect and relate with you more easily, and it will make your message more understandable and memorable, because stories are memorable. So I've also written down a few questions here that you can ask yourself so that you can start and articulate the story that you're going to tell on your different channels, whether it be your social media or your website. Why are you doing what you are doing today? What led you to where you are now? What are some of the struggles that you overcame and the successes that you want to share with your audience so that they better understand you? I think the key is to, of course, stay authentic and to be yourself, because people can feel when you're true, and they will love it, I think. Okay, the third step, and you've noticed that this step is pretty far down the road. It's because, as we've established, visual identity is not the first thing that you want to think about, because your visual identity is just a translation of all that we've talked about before. So your purpose, your values, your story, these are the foundations of your brand. And your visual identity is just how you convey those things and those messages to the outside world. So once you get clear on your vision, you want to build a unique and recognizable brand. And for that, you can create a brand book or a brand style guide, depending on how people call it. And the brand book acts as a key document that will help you communicate a consistent message to your audience. So it's really a must-have for creating consistent on-brand content, because what you want at the end of the day is people to see your content, see your post, your story, your YouTube video, whatever, and know that it's you speaking directly to them. So in the brand book, what do you include? I would recommend that you start with your strategy. So you can just state, if in a few sentences, in a few words, your vision and mission, your core values, your brand story, and your tone of voice. Tone of voice is how you're going to address your community, how you're going to address your audience. For example, you could be the funny person in the room, and you would only make like funny stories and funny videos and reels about marine science, but while transmitting important key information, but you could be the funny one. Or you want to be super practical, and you're known for your analytical brain, and you want your social media or your channels to be really like a marine science blog where you're really specific and you go into details, and that could also be a different way of communicating. But you got to stay consistent even through your tone of voice so that people recognize when you speak to them. And then on the second part of the brand book, you can include all of the visual guidelines that translate this strategy. So you can have a color scheme with a color palette. You can have some fonts. You can have a mood board with images, even videos. And you can include also your logo, icons, and all of the different assets that you're going to use. If I have one important advice here is that you stay simple. Keep it simple. 2-3 colors are more than enough. Same for the fonts. You don't have to go crazy. I think it's if you want to be impactful, simplicity is key. And also it will make the work easier for you because if you start going in all different directions and adding 7-8 colors to your palette, you are gonna lose yourself probably. So we will actually see that a little bit later, but here on this slide, I've put some templates for brand style guides. So you can see what it looks like. We've got a logo, some logo variations, fonts, colors, images. These templates I did not create. I actually found them on Canva, which is a really free, powerful tool that I'm going to introduce to you in just a couple of minutes. But I just wanted to give you an overview of what a brand book can look like. And I think I've prepared them. So I will share in the chat at the end of the presentation the links to those brand book. I also have one that is much longer with like the vision, mission, values, and all these kind of stuff. All right. That last step is probably the most important, probably the most difficult as well, because this is a long-term game. We are social animals. What we want to do is build relationships and seek out connections. And basically, that's what you have to do once you got clear on your strategy, once you created your brand book. You can start communicating and you can start engaging online with other people and start conversations and share your thoughts and initiatives. Now, as I said, I'm repeating myself here, but authenticity is key and people will connect with you for you. And if they like you as a person, I'm sure you've experienced that with some of your friends, like if there is somebody that you look up to, you are way more likely to listen to everything that they are going to tell you. So if someone like you as a person and like your energy online, like your personal brand, then they will listen to what you have to say and be interested in the actions that you're undertaking and the messages that you're sharing. And I think that we need more people like you to build personal brands. Oops, I'm going to admit nada. Still have new people joining. That's amazing. Welcome to all newcomers. I think you've arrived at the best part, because we are gonna have a little case study right now about personal branding, and after that, I'm gonna share with you some very cool and free tools to help you build your brand. Okay, so remember, I've showed you famous marine scientists at the beginning of this presentation. Here we have Steve and Inka, who both have created really strong, really unique personal brands. And I wanted to demonstrate with this little case study how they both communicate in a different way. So Steve, you can see here, you've got the homepage of their websites, and Steve is positioning himself as an adventurer. Probably know him. The guy has seen everything and done everything, and he's gone across the world, and you can directly see his character, through the colors that he's using, and even the imagery. Like you see this bold, bright orange, big fonts, and a picture where he's climbing a mountain rock. So that already gives you an idea of who Steve is. And then for Inka, on the other side of the screen, she's a filmmaker, a photographer, a marine biologist. So obviously, photography and beautiful images are going to be a big part of her brand. And that's what you can see on her website, but that's also what you see on her social media. So these are the Instagram accounts of these two people. And on Steve accounts, you can see that he's got these pictures with like snakes and sharks, and he's really like into the action, and you've got those bright colors as well. And on Inka's side, you have beautiful imagery, beautiful videos, always in the same dark blue color scheme. And I find it really interesting to see both directions here. It's actually the same for their messages. So here you see one of Steve's book, and you see the Blue Wild expeditions here on the right. And again, like orange, bright color on the left side with Steve. You also see a lot of his face. I think that's a big part of his brand. And on the right side, you've got, again, beautiful imagery and these same dark but blue bright colors. So that was for the little case study, but now I want to go through useful tools and resources that are going to help you build your brand. All right. So the first one, I don't think I need to introduce this website, this platform. Pinterest is really great for finding inspiration. I'd say on a weekly basis, I go back to my Pinterest board, the one I created for my brand and my business, and also the ones I create for my clients, so that I can just, get a little refresher of what motivates me and what are my visual guidelines when I need to create some Instagram posts, for example, or if I just need to be reminded of the general vibe for a client website project. So you can go ahead and create a board for your brand on Pinterest, and you can just add all of the pins that you want there. That can be inspiration for your fonts, for your colors, that can be photography, and all of those kind of things. So Pinterest is obviously a visual platform, and it will help you for the visual aspect of your brand. Then we want to look for colors, and this part can be a little tricky. So I think that you're going to like these two websites, because I find them really helpful when you're not like a color expert, because you can find color schemes that are coherent and that are also aesthetically pleasing very easily on those websites. I'm actually going to show you how it looks like. Oops. The first one is coolers here. So you can go about it two ways. You can explore you can explore trending color palettes and see all of like same tone palettes, very bright palettes. You've got everything. I think you can filter them as well. And the other way you can go about it, and for that, I'm gonna try and find a nice blue. Or let's say you wanna use a purple-ish kind of blue. So you would just copy an X code. So that's the code for a color. And on Coolors, you can also generate a color palette from an existing color. So I would just paste the color I want to use here, the Jordy blue color. Let's say that we want to have 3 colors because I think that's good. So I can remove 2 of them over here, and I will lock my Jordy blue. And then after that, I just click on the space bar, and the website is going to generate color palettes that are aesthetically pleasing. This one I kind of like. Let's find one that we can really connect with. Okay, this one I like. So we'll use it later for another demonstration. That's Coolors. Basically, the other website I've linked. Oops. If I can find my presentation again. Yeah, the other website I've linked here, the My Color Space website, does the same thing. It has really great color scheme on there, so you can go and have a look. The next tool is about finding and pairing fonts together. And this step I find very tricky. This is, for me, the most difficult part of the process, is to find fonts that convey the right message and that are suitable and relevant for a brand. And one thing you got to know is that there are 2 types of fonts. You have free fonts and paid ones. Paid fonts are called custom fonts, and to use them on your social media and on your website, you got to pay a license. Sometimes it's a one-time fee for graphic design, and for web licenses, it's an annual fee. So what you might want to do at first is to go font fishing for some free fonts, and Google Fonts is a great place to start. They have this very easy to use website with a lot of filters, and you can actually sort through the fonts and see the newest one or the trending one. And for fonts, I would actually recommend that you pick trending fonts, so fonts that are used by a lot of designers on websites and design, so that you know that these fonts, they work and they are readable and accessible to everyone. And I think that's a really important point. And now we have Canva. Canva is such a powerful tool. They have a free plan that is very complete. They have thousands and thousands of templates for social media, whether it be like Facebook or Instagram posts, Instagram stories. They have presentation templates. So this presentation, actually the one that you're seeing now, I've created on Canva. And they have, as you've seen before, brand book templates that you can use for your business. So you can, just create a free account and look for templates over there. I'm going to quickly show you how that works. So here are the brand book templates that I've showed you earlier. And we've got this one. And I wanted to show you how easy it is to customize a template with Canva. Probably some of you have already used it. Basically, you have all kinds of elements over here. You have different kinds of text and fonts, and you can, most importantly, import, upload some of your images and assets to Canva, so you can use them either on post templates or on your brand book templates. So really easily, you could, let's say we would design one for women in ocean science. So you could, put pictures over there. Let's do a big one here, just demonstrating a few things so you see how that works. Oops. We can put like a light, oh, that is too blue. You can put a light blue for the background. You can import your logo. Oops. And if we want to go back to our color scheme over here, I don't like it that much, actually, but it doesn't matter. So here you can change the colors and import your colors for the brand book. So you see how easy it is to create this style guide. And I think it's really useful because you can save it as a PDF or as a PNG, and then have it on your desktop when you have to create something. Okay. This last tool, I thought that I would just throw it in, even though some of you might already have enough images and videos to fuel your social media or website. But if you're looking to use images, same as for fonts, you can find free stock images and videos online. And these are the three, I think, main websites where you can find them, but there are so many of them. You've got Pixels, Unsplash, and Pixabay. And you can, I'll show you as well. You can type whatever word that you want. Let's say that you want to do a post on a coral reef and how they are crucial to life on Earth. And you would just type coral reef, and then you would have all of these images that you can freely use on your social media, on your website, on, I don't know, your YouTube channel if you want to design a YouTube cover. And you can filter them by orientations and size and even colors. So that's really cool. All right, so that's it for the free tools. Obviously, there are, as I said, so many of them, but I think these 4 or 5 tools that I've just showed you are a great place to start. And I would love actually for you to share what you create with these tools and with these brand book templates. That's why I put my contact details over here. If you guys have questions, if you want to run something by me or show me what you've created with the tools I've showed you, I would be super happy to have a look at it and connect. So you can I don't know, screenshot these contact details and reach out to me at any time. You've got my Instagram, email, and website over here. Okay. Now, before we move on to our Q&A session, I wanted to share this very powerful quote. I love it. It's Baba Dioum who said it. He is a Senegalese engineer. I think he's like 85 right now. And he once said that at the end of the day, we only protect what we love and we only love what we understand. And I think that really reflects why we need more change makers and more people who do what you do, showing up on social media and creating and building personal brands, talking about marine conservation, for example, because we need more people to understand what's at stake, what's going on, so that they start acting and they start protecting our planet and the life that is on it. And I hope that after today, you will feel empowered to join this social media community, caring community, and grow your personal brand to make a bigger impact. Because I think that social media and the internet have been demonized sometimes quite a lot, and for right reasons, don't get me wrong, but I don't think that we can afford to think like that if we want to drive change, if we want to ignite change, because at the end of the day, social media and the internet in general are just powerful tools that, if we use right, can make a lot of good, I think, because they help bring awareness, start conversation, and most importantly, they encourage action. So yeah, that's it for today. Thank you so much for showing up. And if you have questions, or if you simply want to share something, you can pop it in the chat. I will open it now. I think you can also join me on screen if you just request to put your camera on. So that's really up to you. But I will quit this presentation and open the chat. Okay. I don't know if Mads is still here. I think she is. Oops. Where's the chat? Okay. Well, I'm not a Zoom expert, so I'm trying to access the chat. Okay. Okay, I think I've stopped sharing my screen. Now I just want to see the chat, but I can't. Oh, now I can. Okay. Oh, we can still see the screen. Thank you, Emily. Stop share. Well, there it was. Found it. Okay. Now I lost the chat again. Oh, here it is. All right. So I'm going to be reading your messages. Okay. Oh, nice. We have some great questions. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to share now the links, as promised, to the brand guide templates. So I'm sharing them now. So you can, oops. I'm sharing them now to everyone. Okay, well, currently I can't. Anyway, okay, let's read some of the questions. I'll see if I can share the links later. First question, let me go back. What is the best tool to manage all social media platforms simultaneously? That's a great question, and that's really a hard thing to do. I don't know if you are on all of the platforms, but I'll say generally people are like on Instagram, TikTok, maybe Facebook, YouTube. What I personally do, because I don't use any scheduling tool to post content, but what I do is I centralize all of my content creation and posts and stories in one place. And a great place to do that is actually Canva, because on Canva you can create a simple grid where you can arrange all of your next post and create all of your content and just simply export it so you can post it on Instagram. But I don't actually use any scheduling tool for social media platforms. Okay, next question. I love you to talk about naming your personal brand. I find it the hardest decision to make, and it stops me from starting an account website that's needed for the handle and web address. That's a great question, and I think a lot of people are going to go through the same issue, and I certainly have been through the same issue. I spent, I think, weeks, if not months, trying to find a name for my business. And I know it can really block you from going further because, as you said, you have to create your social media handles, and website URL. So what I'll say is that for personal brands, most of the time, what's super effective is to use your own name. And I don't know if that's something that you want to do, but a lot of the marine scientists that I've showed you earlier, and basically, yeah, most of them that I've seen online are using their own names. And then they create sub-brands, for example, if they want to create a sustainable swimwear brand or expeditions, for example. But using your own name is a great way to market yourself, because at the end of the day, me using like the web tailor has sometimes been a bit confusing. And that's why I'm actually switching. I'll be switching very soon to my own name, because I think that it's a really effective way to create a personal brand and market yourself. But if you don't want to use your own name, I'd say yeah, keep it simple and try to incorporate the one word that will really help people find you online as well. Because we haven't talked about that during this presentation, but obviously when I create websites and social media accounts, I really have to think about keywords, because for people to find you on Instagram or on Google, for example, they would have to type keywords. And so try to have like, I don't know, marine science in it, or if not marine science, just ocean, like just to speak about one, Mads Ocean is a really simple one. And when people type, for example, ocean advocate, they find her. So I would say use keywords and think about that when you create your website URL as well. Okay, whoa, all right. With images from Pexels, should you still give credit if you use them on socials? No, you don't have to give credit for those images. That's what's great about it. When you download an image from Pexels or Unsplash, they will actually show you the person, the photographer who has uploaded that image. So you can always, like, if you want to support them, you can always mention them. And that's what they recommend that you do, but you don't have to give credits. How did you create the logo? What tools did you use? Canva. That's a great question. I actually wanted to show you that earlier, and I didn't. But I'm hearing. Oh, that's Mads.
Hello.
Hi.
Sorry, I lost signal in the car.
Oh, don't worry about it. We're at the Q&A stage, so I'm answering about a bunch of questions.
Oh, fantastic.
Okay, so the question I was on was, how did you create the logo? Personally, I create logos using the Adobe suite. So I use Illustrator, which is a paid service. That's why I didn't introduce it to you today. But you can create logos on Canva very easily, actually. If you go to Canva, there is a search bar, and you can search for any kind of template. And if you would just type logo, they would generate so many logos. And I think you can even search for marine scientist logo, or marine biologist, or I don't know, wildlife photographer logo. And you will find a few suggestions that will be helpful. I think for your logo, if you use your own name, it's very, very simple and very impactful to just have your name in a great font. You can add a little icon or a little drawing at the top of it, but same advice as the one I gave before for colors and fonts. Keep it simple. That's really the best way to be impactful. Okay, Georgia. I'm still admitting people. into the group. Georgia, he's saying, I've always struggled with how much unrelated stuff I should share as an individual. For example, does the marine community care that I like cinema and crafts? I'm in stuck position of only sharing super marine related stuff because I feel like it would be inappropriate to share my whole personality. How would you recommend deciding what is too much to share? I love this question, and I was kind of hoping that we would get it. I've struggled with this myself, and I'm still in the process of rethinking my brand and the way I share stuff on my social media. I was actually in the exact same position. I positioned myself as a web developer, web designer, and I was only talking about that for a year. And I got really tired of it because even though I love what I do, I have so much more things that I'm interested in and that I want to talk about, like personal development and social and environmental issues, and how you can introduce routines into your life, and so many things. I also love poetry, so I want to be able to share like cool poems that I write sometimes. And I think that there is really no limit to what you decide you're sharing on your social media. I think that sharing all of these things will only make you more human and more relatable. So I don't really, I have not myself actually found the limit of, okay, I don't feel like sharing it, because really you can share about anything. And you could say, like, some people do that, and I find it very interesting. They keep their Instagram posts to only talk about Instagram related to a certain topic or 2 or 3 topics, and then they share all of the personal stuff in their Instagram stories. And that's also a cool way, because people, if they don't want to see, if they like your posts but don't want to see your stories, they just don't look at them, and they won't see them appear at the very start of their Instagram. And so you could share like things you're not sure if you should share or not. Maybe try it and share them on your stories first, and you see how people react to that. You see what emotions or what feelings it generates, and you test it out. I see that a lot of people can actually relate to what you've just said, so I can't wait to see how you go about it. But really, I would encourage all of you to share personal stuff as well, because that's important. Really helpful answer. Great. I'm glad that I can help you with my answers. Really enjoyed. Thank you so much. Okay, another question, Freddie. Which are the most useful courses, formations, soft skills to take to work in ocean conservation, communication, marketing, and branding? That's a really good question. Courses, formations, and soft skills. I say, to talk about soft skills first, I would say writing is one of the most probably underrated skills that you can, but maybe that's a hard skill, actually. I don't know if writing and speaking are soft skills or art skills. I forgot, but I think that writing is really, really powerful. And I can directly see like people who write newsletters and captions and even like short tweets. You can see the people that have learned how to write. And I'd say that's the number one thing that you should learn how to do. And of course, there are tons of free content online, whether it be on YouTube or on blogs. And there are also courses, like the one that I really love is the Danko courses. He has a podcast and Instagram, and he's really great. He's talking about writing a lot. Other than that, useful courses, Why not a course on how to visually share a message online? I know that there are some courses and formations you can find so many, and send me a message if you want some names and Instagram handles, but you can find so many social media experts and managers online who have like super short courses or even ebooks on how to create an impactful post. And I think that's an important thing to learn as well. I love poetry too. I mean, poetry is just, it's the best. It's just the best. And I think, sometimes I even write my captions about web design and web development in rhymes. Like I write poems in my captions. So see, there is really no limits to what you can do. Sophie, what would you say is the best way of connecting with people through socials, other than just following them? Yeah, that's a great question, because lots of people think that engaging on social media and trying to connect with other accounts it's simple. It's just, you like their latest post, like 2 or 3, and then you just follow them and they will follow you right back and you'll have a relationship. That's actually not how it works. And it will get you nowhere, just following people around, I'd say. And it takes some time for sure. But I'd say that you have to put yourself out there and send messages. Like DMs are really underrated, but be genuine. Like ask people questions, answer to their polls on their stories. Just send a message to say that you like their content, or that they've created such an amazing blog article, whatever. I think that's the thing. You gotta invest a bit of time into interacting with people online, so that you can really build a community and true relationships and connections. And I think what I do is that 3 or 4 days per week, and just go on social media, and for 30 minutes I do that, because you don't want to do that all the time, otherwise you have no time to do anything else. But you could try and start with, I don't know, 1 or 2 days a week. Just set some time apart, 30 minutes or an hour, and just scroll through the internet, but intentionally trying to see people who inspire you and who you want to communicate with. Yeah, my answers are super long, but I think we have a unlimited Zoom time, so that's actually fine. Okay, what would you recommend for someone who's trying to get more into the ocean conservation space as a videographer? I don't have a science background, but I'm looking to pivot towards moving into the conservation space. Sorry, that's Monique asking. I'm not sure, and maybe if I don't know if Mads or anyone else is there on the call, because I'm not sure I'm the best person to answer that question, because I myself have no ocean conservation or marine science background. I'm just digital marketer who has learned to design websites and who's working with people in the marine world and the ocean preservation world, but I wouldn't know where to start if, as a videographer, you want to find more information on ocean conservation. I don't know if someone from Women in Ocean Science is still here, but maybe they will hop on later to answer that. Oh, cool. Priscilla has to go. Bye. I don't know if you're still there, but goodbye. Okay, we have another question. Sorry, Monique. I will, you know what? I'm going to screenshot your question and we can connect later. So I can maybe answer better. How do underwater photography, thank you, Monique. How do underwater photography I do underwater photography. Sorry. Very often I struggle with making a post because it takes so much time to edit the pictures, and then I want to repost. I want the post to be perfect. Bye, Shannon. Thank you so much for showing up. I want the post to be perfect. And sometimes at the end, I think that it has passed a lot of time and I end up not posting anything and feeling frustrated. I need time to improve this. Oh my God, story of my life. I'm such a perfectionist. And you know why I'm going to tell you a story. At the beginning of my business, I spent 4 or 5 months, maybe, just creating things. I didn't put anything out there. Like I didn't post anything online. I had like a month worth of social media content, and I had spent so much time, like so many hours, weeks really, of creating content. I was never happy with what I was creating. And then I guess you just have to realize that it's never going to be perfect. And, you know, when I posted stuff 6 months ago that I thought were perfect, I look at them now and I think, wow, this is bad. So even like your vision will evolve, and probably your posts and your captions will evolve as well. And I think you just have to be to overthink less what you're posting, what you're sharing online. But I think one practical advice I could give you is to recycle content. And this is also very underrated, but I've recently starting doing that, and I've realized that you don't need to post new things, new content all of the time. You can just recycle things. You can, if you've done a post, for example, with, I don't know, 4 or 5 slides, you can make a reel with these exact content, because this will appeal to different people. And you can just also shorten some of the content that you put online. I don't know, if you've written like an email or a newsletter or a blog article, just go to that and try to find some useful content in it, and some things that you could recycle and post about. And I think practice is really the only answer to this. The more often you're going to create content, the more often you're going to post, you're going to get the hang of it, and it's going to be a lot faster. And the last advice I would give for that, and what's really helped me, is to create a bunch of content at the same time. I never, like before I was posting 3 to 4 times a week. I couldn't do more than that, because otherwise I get overwhelmed and anxious. But I was posting 3 to 4 times a week, and those 3 days, each day I would sit down on my desk and create the post for the day. And this is really, really not good, because this is so time consuming. And now I force myself at the beginning of every month. I sit down, it can take 1 day or even 2 days sometimes, and I create my post and my content for the rest of the month. And then I don't have to think about it ever again for 30 days. I would just post what I have. And I think that's a good way that you can go about it. Because when you create a bunch of stuff together at the same time, it takes less time. Like I would create 1 post every 2 days, and it would take me 3 to 4 hours. And now in 3 to 4 hours, I can create like 10 posts. And so, yeah, that's I think that's helpful. Mm-hmm. You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay. Hi, Nada from Egypt. So cool. Currently, I'm an undergrad with a zoology major, and I'm really fond of the ocean and want to pursue a career in marine biology. But it seems that the field is huge. Can you tell me how to start, what to do, whom to ask, and so? I love it. I think it's really cool that you want to pursue a career in marine biology. I personally am not a marine biologist, and I have no background.
I went to fix it earlier.
In ocean conservation. Sorry, I don't know who's talking. So I'm not the best person to help you with that. But as for Monique's question, I think it was Monique before. I'm going to screenshot. Your question and maybe share it with Mads or some other women in ocean science lady so that they can talk to you about it. Okay. Bye, Maddie. People are going. Thank you so much. I will, feel free guys to share your Instagram handles or website or anything. I will go through all of them. I'm really excited. Okay, let me screenshot that. And I'm also gonna screenshot Priscilla's website that she sent. Oh, thank you, Maya. Thank you so much for your feedback. I hope that it was helpful. I hope that it inspired you, because that was the point. And thank you guys for showing up, because really it was my honor. And I had fun. I had a lot of fun. Oh, great. I am an environmental engineer, and I did an Erasmus master in marine environment. This led me to the marine science. Ooh, so cool. Oh, well, yeah, you're actually, I think, I think Andrea, is it Andrea? Oh, yeah, is answering to your question, Nada. So maybe you guys can connect. Okay, I'm gonna try and send you the template links. Yes, Andrea. Yeah, I'm gonna try and send you the Canva template links, but it's really strange. Like in my chat right now, I can only direct message some people, and I don't want to direct message people. I just want to post like a general message. I'm not sure how to do that. Okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to post them on the Facebook group, the links to the templates. So there was a Facebook event created by Women in Ocean Science, and I'm going to share that in the discussions of the event. Oh, thank you guys for sending me your handles and websites. So cool. Okay, it was very helpful. Thank you. Thanks. Oh, I was a bit stressed out, to be honest, before this presentation, because I wasn't sure that you guys were going to be inspired. I was hoping that you would be, but yeah, I'm always a bit stressed before I do public speaking. So it's great to have positive feedback. And I can't wait for you guys to implement these tips. Really, I'm super excited about it, and yeah, share them with me. Okay, thank you. You're welcome. Thank you so much for showing up. Okay, this is me on Instagram. Got it. Thank you, Juliana. Woo. This is great. I don't know how we see how many people are still there. Oh, yeah, there. Okay, great talk. Ooh, other Instagram. Amazing. Yeah, and I think in an hour it's you can already battery is low. Okay. I think in an hour you can already give a pretty complete, pretty nice overview of what branding is and how you can leverage it, but there are so much things to be said about branding and about social media in general. And I think it's useful if you on Instagram just follow a bunch of, not even a lot, like maybe you can follow 5 to 10 accounts that give these kind of advice, and that would help you build and grow your brand as you go. because it's always good to be reminded of what are the principles of branding and what you should keep in mind. Thank you. Okay, the LinkedIns are being exchanged. So cool. Okay, thank you, Lisa, for your Instagram. Oh, and Emily. So cool. I'm curious because I've seen Egypt, but where are you guys based right now? Can you share it in the chat so I can see where people have joined from? The US, North Carolina, England, Uruguay. Ooh, so cool. UK from Germany, Sri Lanka. Wow, this is so diverse. Based in Cape Town. Mozambique. Oh, that's where Mads is. Maybe you guys are not far from each other. Vietnam, Colombia, but I live in the UK. Wow, so nice. So nice. I'm currently in Belgium, but I don't intend to stay here. I really loved my life in Indonesia, and I think yeah, I'm Asia is my first love. Really, like I'm going to be going back there really soon. I'm going to be heading back to Bali for an indefinite amount of time, beginning of 2024. So if some of you are there, maybe we'll see each other. Oh, Mexico. I lived in Liège for 1 month, but it was very cold when I went. Yeah, Liège is cold. Most of the time, I'd say maybe 9-10 months a year, Liège is cold. And then in July and August, it's just so hot. This makes no sense. Spain, the Maldives, also Belgium. Not planning to stay there though. Well, yeah. I mean, I don't want to say anything bad about Belgium, but it's just not my my vibe, let's say. Okay, cool. Well, awesome. Thank you so much, guys, for interacting in the chat and for... Hey, I have to go. Thanks, Morgane. Thank you, Juliana. Bye-bye. All the best to you too, and good luck creating your brand. All right. Well, lovely to meet you. You too. Oh, we've got some other Instagram here. I'm a deep sea science communicator, so we'll likely be posting about the deepest parts of our oceans. Ooh, that's interesting. I've only got my open water diver's license. So, you know, the deepest I've been is like 18 meters. Sometimes I went to 20. I didn't realize. The instructor got very mad at me. So I'm interested about learning about deep seas, because I know nothing about them yet. Thank you, guys. Okay, well, I think I'm going to be ending the chat. Yeah, I think I can now. I'm going to stop the recording and end that here. I wish you guys a beautiful day, evening, afternoon, morning, depending on where you are. It's 5:30 p.m. where I am, so I think I'm gonna go and drink a lemonade. Yeah, I'd love to connect with all of you, so we'll go through your websites and LinkedIn's and Instagram and say hi. It's been really lovely, and thanks again for showing up. Bye, everyone. Bye-bye.